I'm Israeli like any other one, and I carry all the responsibility like any other Israeli. There is no Palestinian state, and unfortunately I think there will never be one. Israel is in its worst condition ever.
Actually, all the Israelis we spoke to this week are 100% behind the actions of Israel inside Gaza, and they are even saying that the images coming out of Gaza are fake news.
That's a typical product of a very efficient brainwash system that the Israelis are unfortunately exposed to. They choose it. The media chooses not to tell Israelis what's going on in Gaza, and the Israelis are very happy about it. They don't want to know. And instead, we are still, all of us, on the 7th of October, with all the atrocities and crimes, which were horrible, and the hostages, which is also a horrible scene. But what about 2.3 million people who are dying in starvation, who are killed in dozens every day systematically? What about making Gaza an unlivable place on a systematic basis? Every day, another neighborhood, another village, another quarter.
Yeah. So is that proof of that the citizens of this country are in complete denial? Or does everyone know what is going on?
Israel is in denial for many years because they deny also the occupation. For them, the occupation is a normal phenomena. The fact that 5 million people have no rights, for them, for most of the Israelis, it's normality. Not to speak about it, that it is legitimate. And now the 7th of October also gave them much more power to deny. Because all of a sudden we are the victims. They are comparing it to the Holocaust. They say it's the second catastrophe after the Holocaust, as if it's comparable at all.
Right, but are you saying that Israel has actually always been like that, or the 7th of October has radicalized?
Israel has, both are true. Israel always lived in denial, by the way, ever since it was born. Ever since the first lie about a people without a land, which arrives to a land without a people. This was the first denial of Zionism. But it lives in a denial. After the 7th of October, we came out of the closet. Now the denial is much deeper, and also the legitimacy to commit crimes is much bigger. Because look what they have done to us. So now we have the right to do whatever we want.
Big countries like France, the UK, Canada, Australia are now recognizing the Palestinian state. Do you feel that this is going to force the Israeli government to change their course?
Even not for a second. It is a hollow lip service. I've been yesterday to the West Bank on the day of the declaration. What do you think changed there? There is no Palestinian state, and unfortunately I think there will never be one. Because the only state which counts for this is Israel, and Israel will never recognize a real viable Palestinian state. Mm. And those recognitions in the UN and the initiative of France and others, very impressive, but it is a hollow lip service to show your public opinions that you are doing something for Gaza. It will not stop the war. It will not promote a Palestinian state. We are farther than ever from a Palestinian state.
So who is this recognition for?
For their own public opinions, for their own consciousness, for their own moral thinking. Here we do something. There is a genocide, and here we do something. We just don't sit and do nothing. We are doing something. Nothing more than this.
Can you show on the map what is actually left of the Palestinian state as it was envisioned?
First of all, the Palestinian state was the entire land until 1948. There was the plan of dividing the land, and the Palestinians said no. You have to remember this. Israel said yes. You can see it maybe in my book. Mm-hmm. And what is left, what is totally left is around 25% of the original Palestine. And now Israel is not ready even over the 25. We want them to compromise not over the whole land. We want them to compromise over the 25%. Even this we are not ready. And there will be never a Palestinian state here, because in this 25% which are left, namely the West Bank and Gaza, but in the West Bank there are 700,000 settlers. Who is going to evacuate them? They are, part of them, very violent people. It will be impossible that they will live under Palestinian authority. And if they are not evacuated, you don't have a Palestinian state. We have to change the discourse. We have to realize that the Palestinian state is a train that left the station, and not continue to talk about it while knowing that it will never happen.
What should countries of Europe, let's just talk about that, do, or what can they do at this stage? What would be more effective?
Just ask yourself, what did you do, especially your country, but others, what did you do vis-à-vis the first apartheid state, namely South Africa? It was working so well. After my visits in South Africa, they all say that the real the game changer was when the commercial community, the business community came to the Prime Minister and to the government and said, we cannot take it anymore. This boycott kills us. We cannot take it anymore.
So, economic sanctions. That's what
any kind of things which will make Israelis accountable for the crimes. It is impossible that we will continue to commit a genocide and life in Tel Aviv will be the same like it was before. This is not normal. The fact that restaurants and cafes are here so overpacked is not normal. When 1 hour drive from here, people are massacred. So we have to start to pay for it and to be punished for it, and maybe this will make the Israelis think about it.
The Netherlands is a big investor in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So what should the government do?
Exactly what it did with South Africa. Exactly the same. If you want really to influence, if you want just to pay lip service, recognize Palestine, condemn Israel, you might even call the ambassador back to Amsterdam. This will not affect Israel.
What if they don't do anything? What will be the consequence of the reputation of the European Union?
I don't think it's about, with all due respect, the reputation of Europe doesn't interest me. What will be is that Gaza will be totally ethnic cleansed. There will be no Palestinians living in Gaza. I don't know where will they send them. Part of them will be killed, part of them will be expelled, and there will be this bonanza that they talk about, the Riviera that Donald Trump talks about, which will never happen. There will be this Riviera in Gaza, and people will make money out of Gaza, and 2.3 million people will starve somewhere else.
Yeah. You have been a very outspoken critic to this government. You write this in columns. In your book also, you actually wrote that the 7th of October attack was the result of the arrogance of Israel.
Yeah.
What happens if you write these things? I mean, socially, where you live, your friends, your family.
For sure, it was the hardest 2 years in my life. I write those things for many years, but I was never so lonely. You become more alienated, because by the end of the day, those young people that I see in the streets who come from Gaza, they all committed crimes there. All of them committed crimes there. It's not very pleasant to be in a place where you know that you are surrounded by parents and friends and cousins and I don't know what, who committed those crimes on a daily basis.
Yeah. I told an Israeli colleague of ours that I was going to interview you, and he said, why is the international press always going to Gideon Levy? Because he's such a minority voice.
Absolutely.
Actually in Israel.
I used to appear very often on Israeli TV. I participate in a panel 2-3 times a week in prime time. Ever since the war started, I was twice on Israeli TV. I'm on all the outlets in the world except of Israeli TV. Nothing. You feel the isolation.
Can Israel come back from this, from everything that we're seeing now?
The truth is that I would love to say that yes, that tomorrow will be a new day and we'll have a better government and everything will be solved. I don't see how we are getting out of this. I don't see how. It's in many ways irreversible. The damages to the society, the damages to Israel's democracy, the democracy for the Jews, the damages for Israel's image in the world, the damage for so many fields is irreversible. Even if Netanyahu will go, and he will go apparently one day, all the alternative candidates, they all support the war, they all support the genocide, they all support the ethnic cleansing, they all support the apartheid, they all support the occupation, even though one of them was even in favor of the recognition of Europe in the Palestinian state. None of the opposition leaders, no one was in favor of this step, which is just a symbolic step, yeah? So do you really think that Israel will be saved by a different alternative government? I have my doubts.
Has the government of Prime Minister Netanyahu actually made Israel safer with all of this?
You must be joking, I guess. Israel is in its worst condition ever. Israelis are afraid to go abroad, either because they are afraid or because they are ashamed. It's very unpleasant and maybe dangerous to be an Israeli abroad today. It's very dangerous to be a Jew in Israel. It's the most dangerous place for Jews in the world today. No doubt about it. Most of the Jews who were killed in the last 2 years were here, obviously, and will continue to be here. Sirens are still from time to time sending us to the shelter in the middle of the night. What do you mean safer?
Well, if that's true, why is he still so popular in the polls then?
Because when you are brainwashed, you are not rational. Because you are still motivated by this urge to punish Gaza for the 7th of October, as if the 7th of October is the only crime here.
Who's accountable in Israel?
All the Israelis. All the Israelis.
Including yourself?
But sure, I'm part of it. What do you mean? All the Israelis. When I go abroad, and I go quite often now, if there will be demonstrations against my lecture or something, I will totally understand it. If people will not want to meet me, I'll totally understand it. I'm part of Israel, sure. I never left. I never thought about leaving. I'm Israeli like any other one, and I carry all the responsibility like any other Israeli, and we all carry a very, very deep and long responsibility because it didn't start on the 7th of October, our crimes.